Hey there everyone, and welcome to this week's market update. This last week in El Paso County, we saw a total of 193 new homes come to market. We saw 53 price increases, 103 price decreases. We saw 55 homes that came back on the market. Those are properties that were under contract that didn't make it all the way to closing for one reason or another. And we saw a total of 431 houses that sold that closed out completely. So again, this week we're seeing consistent numbers yet again. We're seeing around the same number of sold properties. We did see less properties that did come to market this week. We saw a small decrease last week. We saw a small decrease this week. And one of the other things that I noted that I saw about these numbers is we actually saw a decrease in the number of price decreases. So we're starting to see the market kind of tighten up a little bit, and the number of homes that have to decrease their price is becoming less and less. We did, however, see the same amount of homes roughly that came back on market. And our days on market, how long it takes to sell a home, still remains at 16 days. So we're still right there at about the 2-week mark. So one thing I wanted to touch on this week, if you're looking to buy in the future, if you're looking to sell in the future, if you have any interest in real estate, it'd be a good idea to check out the Pikes Peak Regional Building Department, to check out their website. The reason being is getting permits to have certain things done is something that's super important when you're selling a house. It's something that's super important that when you're looking to buy a house. And it's something that I regularly run into, and I'm surprised at how often there are different challenges with it. For example, one thing that I see quite a bit is people who are Maybe they're professional in their career where they do carpentry or they do different things with construction, and they want to bring that into their own home, which is, for the most part, is fine. There's a lot of things that don't require a permit, but there are things that do require a permit. Things like building additions, things like changing water heaters, changing out furnaces, anything that would require you to add, take away, or move plumbing, HVAC, or even electricity. And here's the main challenges with these permits. A lot of times, if you have an inspection, it's something that'll get flagged because inspectors have a really easy time going into the regional building department's website to look up if that permit had been pulled and if it's something that had passed inspection. Now, the time it becomes a major issue is when it comes to appraisal. The majority of our market here in Colorado Springs uses either VA loans or FHA loans. And they do have certain guidelines, things that have to be at a certain level of quality in order for the FHA or for the VA to fund that loan to purchase that house. And the last thing you would want is if you're in the middle of a transaction, you're 2 or 3 weeks in, hey, this water heater wasn't installed properly, or it may or may not have been installed properly, and they never got a permit for it. Now, if you're on the buyer side, what that can mean is that the appraiser is going to have to come back out to take a look at that. And that's going to be an additional cost to the buyer. When you're on the sell side, you could be at a point where maybe you have an offer on another house, or maybe you needed that money, you had planned on moving at a certain time within a certain deadline, and now you could be held up a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or who knows how long it might take to get all this fixed so you can get that permit, get this loan funded, and get the transaction closed. But again, one of my recommendations is if you're looking to buy, if you're looking to sell, or if you have any interest in real estate, check out the website to see what it's like to look up permits, to see what kind of permits you see, and see how long ago different things have been done. I know when I work with my clients, whether we're looking to buy, whether we're looking to sell, I always make sure to take a look at permits because I want to know what's going on up front. You want to know what's going on before you get to the point where it's going to become a problem, especially on the sell side. It's not always fun to realize that there's something in your home that doesn't have a permit, but I can't imagine somebody wouldn't want to know that ahead of time so they can fix it ahead of time, so they can plan and budget ahead of time, or maybe even change their plans if it's going to be a huge issue. But that concludes this week's market update. If you have any questions on anything I covered today, you want to know something specific about your neighborhood, a neighborhood you might be looking at, feel free to reach out to me. You can give me a call, send me a text, or even send me a message. That concludes this week's market update. And thank you guys for watching.